Trinity B1, How to Pass the GESE Exam. This is video number 9 in my series, and we're going into grammar. Today, we are doing the present perfect. I know, grammar, but you need it for the exam. Stay with me. As a reminder, Trinity B1 GESE Grade 5 is a CELT-approved exam. You can use it for ILR or for citizenship purposes in the UK. This is video number 9 in our series. Present perfect is a grading criteria. You do need to show the examiner that you understand present perfect and that you can use it. Let's continue. In this video, I want to talk about 3 things about the present perfect. Number 1, the uses. So what types of questions you will see this and how to answer them. Number 2, I will give you some Trinity B1 example exam questions and answers. And number 3, a little extra because I always get this question about present perfect continuous. First, how do we use this? We use this with questions involving have you ever? My favorite example, have you ever visited Paris? Answers, yes, I have visited Paris. No, I have never visited Paris. Or, no, I haven't visited Paris. Sometimes I hear this mistake. No, I didn't visited Paris. It's just bad grammar. Don't say it like that. Sometimes I hear this answer because we learn this often at a lower level. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. Those are grammatically correct answers, but not to this question. If someone says, have you ever visited Paris? These aren't the correct answers. The correct answers are the ones I gave you already. This yes, I did and no, I didn't is if someone asks you, did you visit Paris last week, last summer, last year? So a simple past question gives you the simple past answer. Did you visit Paris last week? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. But don't use them to answer these questions, these present perfect questions. Example, have you ever been to China? Yes, I've been to China. Present perfect. I went last year. Simple past, because I'm telling you when, a time. That's when we use simple past. When I'm giving an exact time, last year, last month, last week. And a negative answer, no, I've never been to China. Let's do a practical one. Forget the exam for a second, although this could be used for the exam. Have you ever been to the Natural History Museum in London? Yes, I've been to the Natural History Museum. Yes, I have. I was there last week. So that's another example of present perfect with simple past. No, I've never been to the Natural History Museum, but I'd like to go there. So now we've added in a future element. No, I haven't. I hope to go there later this year. When you get a question like this, you see my different answers here. They're a little bit longer. That's B1. B1, we do expect a longer answer, not just, yes, I have, or no, I haven't. You want to give the examiner a little bit these longer sentences, like any of these examples. So give that a screenshot if you want. The next common question is, how long have you? Example, how long have you lived in the UK? I have lived in the UK since 2009. I have lived in the UK for 16 years. Note that because we added this since 2009 for 16 years, this is a present perfect answer. So it means that I lived in the UK starting in 2009 and I continued until now and I still live here now. Same thing, 16 years. I started living in the UK 16 years ago and I lived here for 16 years and I still live here. We can see this on any number of topics, hobbies, work, studies. So if my topic was practicing judo or martial arts, how long have you practiced judo? How long have you studied French? How long have you, and then past participle, and then a subject. Example, how long have you studied English? Everyone should have this answer anyway. Forget the exam. It's useful. I have studied English since I was a child. I have studied English since primary school. I have studied English for over 20 years. It means I started studying English 20 years ago and I'm still studying it now. If I am not studying English anymore, I'll answer in simple past. I studied English for over 20 years. Then you know that it's finished. It's simple past. I studied English for 20 years. But because I used this tense, present perfect, I have studied English for over 20 years. You know that it's something I did 20 years already, and I still do now. Let's practice some sample questions and answers. Entertainment. Maybe the examiner asked you about films, television, and you said you like films, and you said you like films from different countries. Have you ever seen a Bollywood film? I have never seen a Bollywood film. Yes, I have seen many Bollywood films. I love them. Or maybe your topic was football. So an examiner could ask you, have you ever watched a live football game? Or have you ever gone to a live football match? I have never gone to a live football match. Or, yes, I have been to many live football matches. Let's continue music. Have you ever performed music for others? So maybe you spoke about you play the piano, you play the guitar. Have you ever performed music for others? Yes, I have performed at a few weddings for my friends. Yes, I have performed many times in the park. Yes, I have performed in multiple concerts. Or maybe you talk about your interest in live music. Have you ever gone to a live concert? Yes, I have been to many live concerts. No, I have never gone to a live concert, but I'd like to. If you talk about playing music and maybe you play the guitar, have you ever taken piano lessons? I have never taken piano lessons. I've taken piano lessons for many years. I took piano lessons for 2 years when I was a child. So I switched to simple past because I've given it a time period 2 years versus the general statement, I have taken piano lessons when I was a child versus yes, I have taken piano lessons. If you tell the examiner that you play the piano, you might get a question, how long have you played the piano? Answer, I have played the piano for many years. I have played the piano for over 20 years. So we use present perfect because we're not giving you a time exactly. Modes of transport. Have you ever taken a long distance train? I have never taken a long distance train. I have taken a long distance train. A few times, actually. I've taken many long distance trains. I took the train from Edinburgh to London. So as soon as I tell you about that specific time, I switch to simple past. Have you ever been on a tram? I have never been on a tram. I have been on a tram many times because I used to commute to work via tram. How long have you cycled to work? So maybe my hobby was my bicycle or cycling. Answer, I have cycled to work for many years. How about festivals? Have you been to any festivals this year? I haven't been to any festivals this year, but I hope to later in the year. I've been to a few festivals early in the year. Have you ever been to a music festival? I have never been to a music festival. Yes, I've been to many music festivals. I'm really into music. I went to Glastonbury last year. So notice I switched to simple past because I'm telling you about Glastonbury. Special occasions. Have you celebrated any special occasions this year? This is a great question. If you get that topic, that's a first general question. Yes, I have celebrated a few birthdays and anniversaries. Or we're going to switch it to simple past. Yes, I celebrated my mother's birthday last week. That specific one. Have you ever celebrated a birthday in the UK? I have never celebrated a birthday in the UK. I have celebrated many birthdays in the UK. Last topic. I sometimes get this question. What's the difference, present perfect versus present perfect continuous? And I use this example. How long have you lived in the UK? I have lived in the UK since 2009. I have been living in the UK since 2009. Both of these answers are grammatically correct. I push people to present perfect because that's what's on this exam as guidance, is present perfect. Make it easy for the examiner. While this is a grammatically correct sentence, and the examiners have a little flexibility, I say make it easy for the examiner, answer in present perfect. But why are they different? Like I say, both are correct. Here's the difference. When I say I have lived in the UK since 2009, I want to talk about results, the result of that statement. If my sentence is I have been living in the UK since 2009, it's more about the process. So here are my examples. I have lived in the UK since 2009, so now I can apply for citizenship. So I lived here that long period. Right now I have enough years I can apply for citizenship. That's why we use this one. I have lived. So I can tell the official doing the paperwork, I have lived in the UK since 2009. And now I can apply for citizenship. I've been here enough years. If we use this one, it's more about the process. I have been living in the UK since 2009, so I have been learning English little by little. So every day at the school gates or at Tesco, at work, I speak to my colleagues, to friends, to people I work with. Every day, little by little, I have been learning. So here, the emphasis or the focus is not about today, it's about that time period of learning English. So that's why we use this other tense. To summarize, both of them are correct, but present perfect is the one on the exam. And in general, anyone who's a high level English speaker, they're going to use both of them. So it's always good to have both of them available to you. Outside of the exam, English speakers use this tense every day. It is a beautiful tense. I love this tense. I speak this tense every day. So I recommend this tense for the exam, obviously, but also for your day to day life. It is a very useful tense. Keep studying, keep learning English.